Hey guys, Chaotic Jackson here for another deck showcase. Today I'll be showing you my deck construction of the Alien Worm deck. It's not so much based off the worms themselves as much the aliens, but the support of the worms is fairly useful. As for reasons I'll explain with the individual cards as the time goes by. I'd rather like to get into it, but first I'd like to give out a little recap of what's been going on. There will be a few more videos now. There will be 3 other deck showcases after this, and that'll be the end of this season. Then we'll be going on to deck showcases a few of my friends have constructed. And as well, we'll also be going on to a few openings of Yu-Gi-Oh! Special editions, and possibly a few other things that I'm found in odd places, and a few card boot sales possibly. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the showcase. Obviously, to start off, I have 3 copies of one of the generic cards, Alien Psychic, which basically, if there's an A count, when it's summoned, it's changed to defense, and basically, the opponent has an A counter, it cannot attack while that's on the field. So it's basically a stall card. And then 2 Alien Greys, which effectively they are flip effect cards which add counters, alien counters to opponent's monsters, and if they destroy a battle, you get to draw a card. Then 3 times this card, Alien Hunter. If it destroys an opponent's monster with any counter by battle, it can attack again. So, again, using A counters. And then another card to help get out more A counters is Alien Dog. If you summon any alien, you can special summon him, and put 2 alien counters on monsters your opponent controls. Then 2 alien Marses, 2 copies of Alien Mars, so that whilst on the field, monsters with A counters have their effects negated, which is very useful for cards, for example, if you use it against Masquerade, for example, because many of these effects, like as you've seen with Alien Hunter, activate during the battle phase. Then Alien Shock Trooper, just for beat stick. You're thinking 1/900 attack for a beat stick. What are you doing, Jex? What are you doing? But in the case that I'm working on, it works. Then an Alien Infiltrator. You can change its monster zone by 1 space per turn, and if there's no monster or spell and trap card on your opponent's side of the field on the same space as this, you can attack directly with this card. It only has 800 attack, but every bit counts. Then Alien Mother. If it just destroys an alien monster they encounter by battle, you can special summon it to your side of the field, and at the end of the battle phase. And when this card is removed from the field, all monsters that special summon are destroyed by that card's effect. Then a Flying Saucer Musakai, 2000 defense, basically card searcher. Then Alien Skull, which is perfect against decks which use lower level monsters. I can think of a few: Crystal Beasts, Ghostrix. In fact, this card works very well against Ghostrix. If you can get them like face up, you can trick your opponent using Ghostrix Scare. Then you can use that and get rid of one of the Ghostrix and swap it for Alien Skull, which can only flip face down unless they use Book of Moon, which is a stupid idea. So it works really well against decks like that. And then we go into spell and trap card support for the aliens. A Corruption Cell to add alien counters. The obvious one, of course, being 3 other worlds, so that aliens basically will have 300 more attack than your opponent's monsters. They will basically have 300 more attack. But in a sense, instead of their attack being increased, your opponent's monsters are decreased during battle. Then 2 Mysterious Triangles. Basically, this allows you to destroy a monster with an alien counter, and then special summon 1 level 4 alien from your deck and destroy it during the end phase. This works really well, of course, chaining it is using it to summon a Shock Trooper, for example, which, yes, it's a good beat stick, but otherwise, you can't really use it for much. And then 3 A-Cell Scatterbursts, so that, again, for A counter support, if my monster, for example, would be destroyed by an effect, I can chain Alien Skull Scatterburst to it instead, so that instead of it being instead of being destroyed like as a an annoying effect, instead I can use this and it'll have a good effect to it instead. Then incubator, so that for example any card that would remove A counters to antidote effects, I can use this so that it will go the alien counters go on there instead. And if it's destroyed, the alien counter can get redistributed. Then A cell breeding for the other continuous, so that once every standby phase put alien counters on put one alien counter on one face that multi-opponent controls. Then for the traps, 2 bombardments. Again, if I know my opponent has like a spell trap card, so you can be really annoying, I can shoot on my aliens and destroy it. Or if I have like a field or something. Then interdimensional warp. So let's say I have alien grave face an attack, and I put an alien counter on something. I can swap the two, and with interdimensional warp, it's a bit different to creature swap because you the activator can choose the monsters on both what you choose and what the opponent chooses, on what the opponent's side of the field. So you choose one is swapped in both cases. And then brainwashing beam. Again, this is the one that removes A counters. So, and every monster that has an A counter on it, well no, select one monster with at least one A counter, you can take control of it. During each end phase you remove an A counter. If all A counters are removed from that card, you destroy this card. But if you put more alien counters on it, pretty okay. And another one for control is Alien Brain. If a reptile would be destroyed, which includes worms, during a battle, you can take control of the opponent's monster and treat it as a reptile type. Then crop circles, so that I can get out other aliens, so I can get out higher level aliens. Of course, it would be much better if I had Alien Overlord. That'd be good. And then I have for the worms, I have 3 Illidons, because of course with the control effects, you could either easy tribute for them. Get out Illidons, set a few cards, use their effects, boom. Then a Worm Hope for a bit of draw power. Yeah, I have to send one back. They have to send one to the graveyard, but some of the cards I could easily pump into the graveyard and get back out later with other things. Then a Wormja Telekips, just for like, again, by the whole flip and special summon again. So protection and of course the setting for Illidan, and of course it's a light reptile. And then Worm Apocalypse for spell and trap card destruction, and the same flip thing. And then a few generic things. Rush Recklessly, just to give an attack boost. Premature Burial to get back a card from the graveyard. Of course, if you work with other cards to pump them into the graveyard, that works well. Brain Control, again, for the card control effect, because of course you can contribute with that as well. W Nebula Meteorite. I haven't got level 7 or higher like Reptile in this deck yet, but I'm planning on getting one, something like Worm King or such. But it's mainly for the flip up, flip down effect, so that I can use like the other effects. Let's say I can use Worm Apocalypse effect more than once, and I can use it on and of course it will work as well on to flip up, say, my aliens as a trick. So when the opponent goes to battle phase attacks, I can use that, flip them up, and then with the others, flip it down again. And then Snake Whistle. So basically, when a reptile is destroyed, I special them in another reptile, a level 4 or lower from my deck, reptile type. Since all the monsters in my deck are reptiles, it works very well. And then finally we get on to the last two, the extra deck. Yes, aliens do have an extra deck. 2 copies of King and the Feral Imps, mainly because their effect is search for search for reptile types. Which, again, for the add-to-hand power, because this deck really needs it. You really need to get out the specific cards at the specific times. But on saying that, it can be very consistent. It can be very consistent, depending on how you use it. Of course, it would be even better if I did have, for example, Alien Overlord and possibly my Worm Prince or Worm King. I probably could also do with like something like Cosmic Horror, Gangiel, and probably the Alien Synchro. But as it stands, this deck runs really well. Anyway, that was the Alien Worm deck. Hope you enjoyed. please, if you did enjoy, leave a like, maybe give a comment. Hell, if you really like my videos, if you could give a subscription, that'd be pretty sweet. This is Kato Jexak signing off for another video. Thank you and goodbye.